Okay, so today I'm working on the mane, still using my spoon shader. You can see that here. And what I've done so far is I've laid down a bunch of lines to give me an area to work with so that I can start to get some clumps and get some definition happening. You can see I've put in a couple of dark lines, and I'm just going to bring this one further up into here, but just making it smaller. Now I've got my P80, my razor tip P80 up at 640 degrees. And this allows me to actually, if you can see here, I can do some light lines by moving my pen a little quicker. And then I can do some dark lines. Like right here, I want to have a nice dark line coming through. So to do the dark line, I'm slowing down my pen movement and just going over it a couple of times to get the depth of the color that I'm looking for. And don't worry, you don't want it to go in the exact same line that you just done, because otherwise it just looks, well, like a line. You want it to look like it's got some shading and some depth within that piece of hair, that clump. So I'm moving it through. You can see I made it thicker there. Let's see how you can actually see what I'm doing. Amazing. And I'm going to go here again and here. And I'm going over some of these lines. I've got the light lines and I've got the dark lines as well. Now, if my dogs start barking, because yes, I have dogs and cats and a bird, then I will shut this down because, you know, we're not here to listen to them bark. And they tend to get excited when people or animals walk by. The more loud and obnoxious they become, the more likely it is an animal and not a human. And that's my cat talking. So now I'm going to do another dark line. And this one I'm going to just bring it through as a clump. So it's going over top of this area. And my cat is being a little demanding. I'm going to darken this down a bit because I want it to lay back further into the background. The darker something is, the more it's going to lay into the background to give it that feeling of not laying in front. The lighter it is, the more light it's getting, and the more it's sitting up in the foreground. Like this here is quite a bit in the foreground. So just by doing this often and quite a few times, you can see that I'm bringing in some depth and some interest into this mane. So it's not just lines, that it's actually got more than one tone, and it allows it to become something that's of interest. Now, if you find that you're getting a little too dark, then what I do is I have what's called a stick shader or stick sander. And so I'm going to go in and I feel that one's a little dark. So I'm just going to sand it down a bit. Same with this one. I don't like this one. So I'm going to sand it down a bit, but I'm not taking it all the way back down to a light tone. I'm just removing some of that darkness and allowing it still to be part of the background. So that's it for today. I'll be working on the mane today, and we'll see where I end up and what I'm working on tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye now.